Funke and Toby were inseparable as children. They lived in the same small neighborhood where everyone knew each other, from climbing mango trees to sneaking into the village stream to swim. The two girls did everything together. Funke, always the cheerful and optimistic one, had a contagious smile that lit up any room. Toby, on the other hand, was quieter, more reserved, and sometimes brooding. Funke, wait for me, Toby called one sunny afternoon as the two ran home from school. Hurry up, Toby, you are too slow, Funke teased, laughing as she carried both their school bags. Toby caught up, panting. You always act like a superhero. One day I will be faster than you. Funke laughed again, a carefree sound. Let's see about that. Their friendship continued through secondary school, where Funke excelled academically. She was always first in their class, while Toby often struggled to pass. Funke didn't mind helping Toby study. In fact, she enjoyed it. Toby, let's go through this mathematics assignment together, Funke said one evening. I've already solved mine. Toby glanced at Funke, her brows furrowed. Why do you always have to be perfect at everything, Funke? It's like nothing is ever hard for you. Funke laughed, not noticing the edge in Toby's voice. Don't say that. You will be good at something too. We just need to find it. By the time they graduated, their paths started to diverge. Funke got a scholarship to study at a prestigious university, while Toby stayed back in the neighborhood, working odd jobs. Funke called Toby often, sharing her achievements with excitement. Toby, I got a first-class degree. Can you believe it? Funke said over the phone one evening. That's great, Funke, Toby replied, forcing a smile, even though Funke couldn't see her. You are really lucky. It's not just luck, Toby. Hard work too. But don't worry, your time will come. I'm praying for you, Funke said, her voice full of warmth. But for Toby, the cause became unbearable. Each new success Funke shared felt like a dagger to her heart. Funke got a high-paying job at a multinational company, while Toby struggled to make ends meet. Toby's mother, before her death, had introduced her to a secret society, a coven of witches. Though she had never used her powers, the bitterness in her heart began to fester. One evening, after Funke called to announce her engagement, Toby smashed the cup she was holding. Why does she get everything? Toby hissed to herself. Why is she always ahead of me? It's like she's mocking me. Her anger grew, and so did the envy that had taken root in her heart. Funke, oblivious to Toby's feelings, continued to trust her. Toby, you will be my chief bridesmaid, Funke said one afternoon as they walked together. Me? Toby asked, masking her shock. You really want me to be? Of course, you're my best friend, Funke said, smiling warmly. This wedding won't be complete without you. Toby nodded, forcing a smile, but deep down, her plans had already begun to take shape. That wedding, Toby thought, will mark the beginning of her misery. The news of Funke's engagement spread like wildfire through the neighborhood. Everyone was thrilled for her, especially because Solomon was known for his calm and loving nature. Funke was the picture of happiness, sharing wedding plans and gushing over her fiancé to anyone who would listen. But while the world celebrated with her, Toby's heart was burning with envy. She gets everything, Toby muttered to herself one evening, pacing her small room. The job, the perfect man, and now this dream wedding. Why is it always her? Funke, unaware of Toby's resentment, Continue to involve her in every aspect of the wedding planning. Tobi, you will be my chief bridesmaid, Funke had said with a bright smile when they met for lunch one afternoon. Me? Tobi asked, feeling surprised. Of course, you're my best friend. Who else would I choose? Funke said, her eyes shining. Tobi forced a smile. Thank you, Funke. I'm honored. But inside, Tobi was fuming. That night, she sat in her dimly lit room, the weight of her jealousy pressing down on her. She reached for the small wooden box her mother had given her before she died. It contained tools of witchcraft items Tobi had rarely used but kept out of curiosity. Her mother's words echoed in her mind. When the world is unfair to you, this box will give you power. The thought made Tobi's resolve stronger. She decided it was time to act. The next evening, she attended the coven meeting for the first time in years. The coven gathered in a scheduled part of the forest. Under the glow of the full moon, the witches, women of varying ages, formed a circle around a blazing fire. Tobi, the head witch, said, her piercing eyes fixed on her, "It's been a long time since you joined us. What brings you here tonight?" "I need your help," Tobi said, stepping into the circle. "There's someone who has taken everything from me. I want her to suffer." "Who is this person?" the head witch asked. "My so-called best friend, Funke," Tobi replied, her voice filled with bitterness. "She always gets what I deserve. Success, love, happiness. I want to destroy her marriage." The witches murmured, intrigued by her words. The head witch nodded, signaling her approval. "What do you have in mind?" she asked. Tobi thought for a moment. Something subtle but powerful, something she'll never suspect. The head witch smiled and handed Tobi a small black charm. "Bring us an object she will use often in her home. A pot, perhaps. We will cast a spell on it." The next day, Tobi went to the market. She carefully selected a beautiful shiny pot that looked expensive but wasn't beyond her budget. As she handed over the money to the vendor, she smiled to herself. This would be the perfect trap, she thought. That evening, she returned to the coven with the pot. The witches gathered again, chanting spells as they passed the pot around the circle. The fire's glow reflected off its polished surface, giving it an airy shimmer. "As long as the pot is in her home," the head witch said, "her marriage will know no peace. Her husband will turn against her, and happiness will be a distant memory." When the ritual was complete, Tobi took the pot home and wrapped it in a beautiful gift wrapper and added a card that read, "A token of our friendship. May this always remind you of the bond we share." On the wedding day, Funke was radiant in her white gown, her joy lighting up the entire venue. Tobi played the role of chief bridesmaid perfectly, smiling and helping Funke with every little detail. When it was time for guests to present their gifts, Tobi stepped forward with the pot. "This is for you," Tobi said sweetly, handing it over to Funke. "A little something to always remind you of me." Funke beamed, hugging her tightly. "Thank you, Tobi. You're such an amazing friend. I don't know what I'd do without you." Tobi forced a smile. "You deserve it, Funke. I wish you a lifetime of happiness." As the couple continued receiving gifts, Tobi stepped back, her face calm, but her heart racing with satisfaction. The spell was in place. All she had to do now was wait. The wedding was a success, and Funke couldn't stop smiling as she reminisced about the big day. She and Solomon had just returned from their honeymoon, a week of blissful relaxation. at a serene resort. Everything seemed perfect, and Funke felt like the happiest woman alive. One evening, as they sat together in their new home, Solomon suggested they open their wedding gifts. "Babe," Solomon said, rubbing his hands together excitedly, "I can't wait to see what people got us. Let's open them tonight." "Great idea," Funke said, her eyes sparkling. "I've been dying to see what's in all those packages." They brought the gifts into the living room, unwrapping them one by one. There were blenders, toasters, sets of towels, and even an envelope of cash from Solomon's uncle. "This is so thoughtful," Funke said, holding up a set of wine glasses. "And this is classy," Solomon said, admiring a painting from one of his colleagues. As they got to Tobi's gift, Funke gasped. The pot was beautifully designed, with intricate carvings and a glossy finish. "Wow!" Funke exclaimed. "This is gorgeous." Tobi really went all out. "She's a good friend," Solomon said, smiling. "It looks expensive too." "She is," Funke said, holding the pot close. "She said this gift will remind me of our friendship." Later that night, Funke decided to use the pot for the first time. "I want to make something special for you," Funke said, tying her apron. "Special?" Solomon teased. "I hope it's jollof rice because it's my favorite." Funke laughed. "You know me too well. Jollof rice it is." As Funke cooked, the aroma filled the house, and Solomon couldn't resist peeping into the kitchen. "Smells amazing," he said, leaning against the door frame. "You are going to love it," Funke said, stirring the rice with a wooden spoon. When dinner was ready, they sat at the dining table, enjoying their meal. Funke felt content, watching Solomon eat with a smile on his face. "This is delicious," Solomon said. "I'm glad you like it," Funke replied, grinning. But as the night wore on, something changed. Solomon, who had always been gentle and soft-spoken, suddenly seemed tensed. "I think we need to talk about the wedding gifts," he said abruptly, his tone sharp. "What about them?" Funke asked, surprised. "We can't keep all of them here," Solomon said. "There's not enough space. I will take most of them to my family house tomorrow." Funke frowned. "Take them to your family house? Why? These gifts were meant for us." "Solomon, why would you take them somewhere else?" "I don't need your opinion on this, Funke," Solomon said, his voice rising. "I've made my decision." Funke, taken aback by his tone, stood her ground. "Solomon, this isn't fair. We should decide together what to do with the gifts." "Are you challenging me?" Solomon snapped, his eyes flashing with anger. "I'm not challenging you," Funke said, trying to stay calm. "I just think." Before she could finish, Solomon slapped her across the face, sending her stumbling backward. Funke stared at him in shock, her cheek burning. "Solomon," she cried, "what's wrong with you?" Realizing what he had done, Solomon's face softened. "I'm sorry," he said, reaching for her. "I don't know what came over me. Please forgive me." Funke backed away, tears streaming down her face. "You hit me, Solomon. You have never done this before." "I said I'm sorry," Solomon shouted, his frustration growing. "Stop making a big deal out of this." Funke cried herself to sleep that night, her mind racing. This wasn't the Solomon she had married. Something felt wrong, but she couldn't put her finger on it. The next morning, Solomon apologized again, showering her with affection. He promised it would never happen again, and Funke, wanting to believe him, decided to let it go. But the peace didn't last. Over the next few weeks, Solomon's temper flared at the smallest things. If Funke cooked late, he would yell. If she disagreed with him, he would raise his hand. One evening, another heated argument, Funke confided in Tobi. Tobi, I don't know what's happening, Funke said over the phone, her voice trembling. Solomon has changed. He gets angry over the littlest things and he's even hit me a few times. Oh no, Tobi said, feigning concern. I'm so sorry, Funke. That's terrible. I don't know what to do, Funke said, her tears flowing. Tobi smirked on the other end of the line, careful not to let it show in her voice. Just pray, Funke. God will see you through. But as Tobi hung up, her smile widened. The spell is working perfectly, she muttered. This is only the beginning. Funke tried her best to endure the constant quarrels and abuse from Solomon. She convinced herself that things would improve with time, but each passing day proved her wrong. Solomon's temper grew worse, and his apologies began to feel hollow. One evening, Funke sat in the living room, staring at the pot Tobi had gifted her. It was sitting proudly on the kitchen counter, gleaming under the light. Could this be the reason? She wondered aloud, shaking her head. No, that's ridiculous. It's just a pot. Her thoughts were interrupted when Solomon stormed into the house. Funke, he called out. Yes, Solomon, she replied, hurrying to meet him. Why didn't you answer your phone earlier? He asked, his voice sharp. I was doing the laundry, Funke explained, trying to keep her voice calm. There is no excuse, Solomon snapped. I have told you to always keep your phone close. What if it was an emergency? Solomon, I'm sorry. Before she could finish, Solomon grabbed her arm. You are always full of excuses, Funke. Please, Solomon, Funke begged, tears forming in her eyes. I didn't mean to upset you. Solomon let go of her arm roughly and stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door behind him. Funke sank to the floor, her heart heavy. She was tired of living in fear, tired of pretending that everything was okay. The next day, Funke decided to visit her mother, Mama Funke, who lived in the outskirts of town. She needed someone to talk to, someone who could help her make sense of what was happening. Mama, Funke said, her voice trembling as she sat on the floor of her mother's small living room. I don't know what's happening to my marriage. Solomon has changed. He's angry all the time and he hits me. Mama Funke's eyes widened in shock. He hits you? She asked, her voice rising. Funke nodded, tears streaming down her face. Have you prayed about this, my daughter? Mama Funke asked, reaching for her Bible. I have, Mama, Funke said, but things are getting worse. Mama Funke paused for a moment, then asked, when did all this start? Funke thought for a moment. It started after the wedding, Mama. Things were perfect before then. Mama Funke frowned. Did anything unusual happen during the wedding or after? Funke hesitated, then said, Tobi gave us a very beautiful pot as a wedding gift. She said it will remind me of our friendship. A pot? Mama Funke repeated, her brow furrowed. Where is this pot now? It's in my kitchen, Funke said. Mama Funke stood up suddenly. Funke, I don't like this. Something is not right. Tobi has always been envious of you. Why would she emphasize that the pot will remind you of your friendship? I think we need to pray. That night, Mama Funke called a prayer section with a few women from her church. They prayed fervently, asking God to reveal the source of the turmoil in Funke's home. As they prayed, Mama Funke suddenly stopped and looked at Funke. My spirit tells me that the pot is the problem, she said firmly. Funke's eyes widened. The pot? But how? I don't know yet, Mama Funke said, but I'm certain there's something wrong with it. Bring it to me tomorrow. The next morning, Funke returned home and took the pot. She felt a strange unease as she held it, but she ignored it and headed back to her mother's house. When she arrived, Mama Funke and the women from her church were waiting. Place the pot on the table, Mama Funke instructed. Funke obeyed, placing the pot gently on the table. Mama Funke and the women began to pray, calling on God to expose any evil tied to the pot. As the prayers intensified, the pot began to shake violently. Funke screamed, stepping back. Mama, what's happening? Keep praying, Mama Funke shouted, her voice firm. The pot suddenly cracked, and a foul smell filled the room. From the crack, black smoke rose and formed into a shadowy figure. It's a witchcraft charm, one of the women exclaimed. The shadowy figure let out an airy laugh before vanishing into thin air. The pot shattered into pieces, leaving a dark stain on the table. Funke collapsed into a chair, trembling. Mama, what was that? That was the source of your problems, Mama Funke said. Tobi used the spot to place a curse on your marriage. She's not your friend, Funke. She's your enemy. Funke's heart sank. She couldn't believe that Tobi, her childhood friend, had done this to her. Mama, what do I do now? Funke said, her voice barely above a whisper. We'll keep praying, Mama Funke said, and you must confront Tobi. She needs to know that her evil plans has failed. Funke nodded, determination replacing her fear. It was time to put an end to Tobi's wickedness. Funke sat in her mother's living room, clutching her Bible tightly. She had spent the night in deep prayer and felt strengthened. She was determined to confront Tobi and put an end to the torment. Mama, I'm going to Tobi's house today, Funke said with resolve. Mama Funke nodded. Go with the power of God, my daughter. Let her know that the light of God is stronger than any darkness. Funke arrived at Tobi's house later that afternoon. Her heart was pounding, but she reminded herself that she was not alone. She knocked on the door and Tobi's cheerful voice called out, Who's there? It's me, Funke, she replied. The door opened and Tobi stood there, wearing her usual fake smile. Ah, Funke, what a surprise. Come in, my friend. Funke stepped inside, her eyes scanning the house. She could feel a strange heaviness in the air. Tobi, Funke began, her voice firm. We need to talk. Talk? Tobi said, raising an eyebrow. What about? Funke took a deep breath. About the pot you gave me as a wedding gift. Tobi froze for a moment, then forced a laugh. What about it? Did you like it? It's a very special pot. It is, Funke said, her voice cold. Special because it was cursed. Tobi's smile faltered. I don't know what you are talking about. Stop pretending, Tobi, Funke snapped, her voice rising. I know everything. I know about the curse you placed on my marriage. I know about your envy, your wickedness. I trusted you and you betrayed me. Tobi's face hardened. She dropped the act and sneered. So you found out. Good for you, Funke. You've always thought you were better than me, haven't you? Always flaunting your achievements in my face. I was never flaunting, Funke shot back. I was sharing my joy with someone I thought was my friend. But now I see the truth. You were never happy for me. You were always plotting against me. Tobi crossed her arms. And what will you do now? You think confronting me will undo everything? You are nothing without me, Funke. Funke raised her Bible. You are wrong, Tobi. I'm not nothing. I have God on my side. Your evil plans have failed, and I'm here to tell you that your darkness has no power over me anymore." Tobi's snare turned into a look of fear as Funke began to pray aloud. "In the name of Jesus, I rebuke every evil you have done against me. I declare that your witchcraft has no hold over my life or my marriage." "Stop it!" Tobi screamed, covering her ears. "Stop praying!" But Funke didn't stop. She prayed with even greater intensity, her voice filling the room. Tobi fell to her knees, trembling. "Funke, please stop," Tobi begged, tears streaming down her face. Funke lowered her Bible and looked at Tobi. "Why, Tobi? Why did you do this to me?" Tobi sobbed. "I was jealous. You had everything I wanted. Success, love, happiness. I couldn't take it anymore. You let your envy destroy our friendship," Funke said, shaking her head. "But it's not too late, Tobi. Repent and return to God. Leave this path of darkness." Tobi looked up at Funke, her eyes filled with regret. "Will God forgive me?" "Yes," Funke said. "But you have to truly repent and give up your wicked ways." Tobi hesitated, then nodded. "I will. I don't want to live like this anymore." Funke helped Tobi to her feet. Together, they prayed, asking for God's forgiveness and deliverance. From that day, Tobi renounced her witchcraft and began attending church. She and Funke slowly rebuilt their friendship, though it would never be the same. As for Funke and Solomon, their marriage began to heal. Without the cursed pot, Solomon returned to his loving, gentle self. They worked together to rebuild their trust and love, and in time, their home became a place of peace and happiness. Funke learned a valuable lesson. Not everyone who smiles at you is a friend, but with faith, forgiveness, and wisdom, even the darkest situations can be turned around.